Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Carlie Mai, I'm 17. I've been a regular busker for around 3, nearly 4 years now, so I wanted to share my experiences and try and help you guys if any of you are considering busking. I don't want to spend too long talking, so I'm just going to get right ahead into the video. Tip number 1 is to make sure you always have permission. Some places do require a busking licence, but to make sure you don't get into any sort of trouble, just ring up the local council of the place you're busking and check out the requirements, and then once you've done that you'll be good to go. Tip number 2 is equipment. So equipment is not necessary, but having equipment gives you such a bigger sound. When you sing acoustically, it's harder to hear. If you have equipment, it gives it a much clearer, louder sound. When people are walking past, they'll probably look at you and pay more attention because they can hear exactly what you're singing. But if you can't afford that, then doing it acoustic is also fine. Just make sure you project your voice, make sure you can play loud enough. Also, having equipment makes it a lot easier to be heard over busy shoppers and cars and loud noise. In some places like cities, there are also other buskers to compete with, so having equipment will help you be louder. So if you are thinking about buying equipment, then you need to make sure you have equipment that is reliable and is going to last. Although it is expensive, you are better off investing for better quality equipment because you'll just get more out of it, and in the long run it will definitely be more worth it. So make sure you do your research so you know what's best for your instrument, so it's the best quality that you can get. If you are taking a guitar, make sure you always take a case with you. You can lay this out in front of you for people to chuck the money into. If you do have a guitar, make sure you take some spare strings with you in case you need to restring while you're out busking. It's the worst thing ever when you snap a string. Same with any other instruments you have, take some spare strings. Take them. Of course you will need some wires for all your instruments, so make sure you have all the correct wires and take some spare ones just in case any break. Make sure you have all the right equipment, everything you need before you go busking to make sure you've got a good sound, good quality, so more people are attracted to your music. Tip number 3. Check the weather. So in my case, busking all depends on what kind of day it is. If it's sunny outside and bright, more people are likely to stop and put money in because the sun's out, and the sun automatically changes people's mood. If it's a colder, cloudier day, you probably won't do as well as a sunny day, but if it's absolutely chucking it down, you probably will hardly make any money because people just want to rush home. So make sure you go on a decent day. It doesn't have to be sunny, but make sure it's not a miserable day. So in my case, what I normally do is I check the weather the night before. The reason I do it the night before is because then I know that it's a lot more accurate than checking it a week before. When you check the weather the night before, make sure it's not raining, because if you go out and it starts raining, all your equipment will get wet. Tip number 4 is to pick the right spot. If you go out busking and you set up tucked away in a corner, people are less likely to see you. But if you set up in a wide open space, then obviously they're more likely to hear you, so they'll stop, they'll listen, they'll probably crowd round, they'll put some money in. If you stand where everyone can see you, you're more likely to get a good interaction. People are more likely to spot you. Sometimes I've gone out busking and I've got some really good gig opportunities. So make sure you stand in the right spot so you get all the attention you deserve. Tip number 5 is to stay properly hydrated. So in my opinion, it's always better to just take a big bottle of water with you. Other drinks like beer, fizzy drinks or juice can clog up your throat or make you quite gassy, so it's probably better to not drink that while you're singing because you want to get the best out of your voice. It would also make you need the toilet a lot more, which means that if you don't have anyone with you to watch your stuff, you'll have to pack up everything just to go to the toilet and risk losing your spot. Water actually clears your throat and hydrates you, so you're less likely to want to keep sipping on a drink. But when you have beer or juice or a fizzy drink, you are more likely to keep drinking it because it doesn't quench your thirst. So in the end up, you'll need the toilet more. So yeah, make sure you keep properly hydrated. I recommend water, but it's absolutely fine. As long as you're drinking something, it doesn't matter. Tip number 6 is to write down your songs. When I first started busking, I just played songs from memory, but then it got to the point where I just learned that many songs, I just couldn't remember the chords, I couldn't remember the lyrics, so I decided to get a notebook and just write everything down in there. The good thing about getting a notebook and handwriting it is that when you write things down, it makes it a lot easier to remember. I write each song out on a double page, so then when you're playing, you don't have to turn it mid-song. One of the problems I've come across with a book, Busking, is that the wind tends to blow my pages about. So what I do is I get 2 hair clips and I just clip the pages onto my music stand, and then they're not blowing everywhere. It's a simple little trick, but it makes it so much easier. Tip number 7 is to learn a variety of songs. I think it's best to learn a variety of songs by a variety of different people. Whether it's a current popular song or a song from the 70s or an original song, it's best to cover a load of different songs because you don't know who your audience is going to be. There could be the older generation there, the younger generation, people who appreciate original songs. So make sure you've got a set list full of different songs by different people from different eras. If you appeal to a wider audience, you're more likely to have listeners and people who stop, people who come and put money in. So having a wide range of songs just opens your audience really. Tip number 8, not every day will be great. Some days I've only made £20 and some days I've made up to £200. It all depends on different things, so it could be the weather, the location, your equipment, what time of year. So just remember when you're busking, not every day is going to be amazing, but just go out there with the mindset, today is going to be a good day, I'm going to have an amazing day busking, I'm going to sing these songs, I'm going to enjoy singing them. I try not to think about the money, I just try and think about my performance and enjoying it, and then when I get home it's nice to count up my money and actually see how much I've made. Not every day will be great, but when it is, busking is amazing. Like, I can't tell you the feeling I get from it. If you lower your expectations, you will always be pleased with your outcome, so just enjoy it every day you go busking. Tip number 9 is to always promote yourself. Every time I've been busking, I have always promoted myself as a musician, whether this was with a busking sign or business cards or a CD. I always try and promote myself. My sign just has my name on it, Carlie Mai Music, and logos of all my social media, just so people know where to find me and how to spell my name and things. So when you've got a sign, people can look at it and search it. A lot of the time when you go busking as well, people will come up to you and say, oh, I'd love you to play at my wedding, or I'd love you to play this gig. So when you've got details on a business card, you can just give it to them and then it'll be easy for them to follow you and message you. So promote your original music so they can find it on social media, say things down the microphone, you know, hi everyone, my name's Carlie Mai, you can give me a follow, you know, whatever. Just be friendly, be open, and make sure you promote yourself, because that is the only way you're going to get noticed. And my final tip, number 10, is to practice. The more you go out busking, the better you will get. The more you sing to people, the more you engage with people and communicate with people, the more your confidence will go up. The more practice you do, the better your music ability will get, which you can take out busking and people will notice that, and eventually you'll just get better and better, and it'll become like a normal thing. It'll become like a job, but not a job because you enjoy it. It really is daunting going busking for the first time. I remember it. I used to make loads of mistakes, but you've just literally got to be calm and just smile at people. It's definitely good to make eye contact with people, because when you look at them and smile at them, they can see that you look friendly and you look approachable. So smiling at people, looking at people, making eye contact just shows that communication and just shows that you're approachable, and it will attract them more to your music in a way. Everyday busking is different, so take it every day as it comes. Keep these tips in mind, stay positive, stay focused. Busking is challenging. Eventually you will get used to it and it will become really fun. Just make sure you know what you're doing. You will honestly get the best out of it if you just go in there and go for it. If anyone is planning busking, I wish you all the best of luck with it. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below and I will reply to them. If there is also a video suggestion that you would like me to make, then just let me know. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it can help some of you who are thinking of going busking or just starting out. I wish you all the best of luck, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!